born in North Branch, Minnesota. My father was an evangelical preacher and minister. I went to Bethel College, graduated with a degree in psychology and with a minor in history and philosophy. I went to Bethel Seminary for a couple of years and then took some business administration at St. Thomas College, and then I graduated from the University of Minnesota Law School. Along the way, I drove a taxi cab off and on for about 5-6 years in Minneapolis, so I know we're living in business. And I coached football for 4 years at Bethel College. I was a group counselor for 2.5 years out of Glen Lake, Hannibal County homeschool for delinquent boys. And I practiced law in St. Paul and Minneapolis. I own St. Stephen's State Bank, which has a major location at the Crossroads Shopping Center on the northeast corner there. We've got a branch, original branch at St. Stephen, and of course a branch just the way here in Sauk Rapids on Benton Drive across from Coburn's. My law practice is down in IDS Minneapolis, which is primarily oriented around tax law, corporate law, finance law. I drafted the second ESOP in the Employee Stock Ownership Plan in Minnesota back in 1974, so that gives you an idea how old I am. Well, 4 years ago I founded the American Sustainable Energy Council, which has its primary purpose to promote sustainable energy, and most particularly wind energy in Minnesota. I have become convinced that the one most critical thing that we can do for our economy, for our national security, and for our environment is to break our dependence on foreign oil. We now have the technology necessary. We didn't 5, 10, 15 years ago, but we do now have the technology necessary to break our dependence on oil, gas, and coal. As I say often, as a banker or tax lawyer, I've done the numbers. We can move from oil, gas, and coal to sustainable energy as quickly as we moved from the horse and buggy 100 years ago to the automobile. In about 10 or 15 years, it can be done. If we put the effort to it that we have, 10% of the effort to it that we have put into Iraq, we will have it done. Technology is here. It involves wind, it involves ethanol, it involves switchgrass, it involves biodiesel, it involves hydrogen, but it can be done. We can do it. I think that the middle class has really gotten hurt under the policies of the Republicans. When Mark Dayton was running for the Senate in 1982, I wrote a paper for him that said Reagan's 81 Tax Act, you guys were just twinkling somebody's eye at that point in time, almost, was the greatest shift of wealth from the poor and the middle class to the very wealthy in the history of the 20th century. Well, his 86 Tax Act continued that. Bush Sr. pushed it a little further. In 1993, we kind of got back to where it should be under the Clinton Tax Act. And now under George Bush Jr., the floodgates have opened, the tax law benefits the very wealthy. Floodgates are open. It's just the way it is. And we need to give what I call fair share taxation a chance. The middle class is paying far more than their fair share taxes. So those are some of the things that let you know who I am. I'm very concerned that we get health care for everyone. I have some specific ideas there, and I'm very concerned that we get out of Iraq. When we do get out of Iraq, we need to be sending the world a message that we will no longer be dependent upon oil. So, I'm convinced that we don't need it. But that creates a huge problem there. I think George Bush went into Iraq with the idea that, okay, now we will control the oil. And George Bush tells you it's not about the oil, it's about the oil. So having said
Bob is also a member of the Chamber of Commerce. And and I only bring that up because it's rare that we have a DFL candidate who's a member of the Chamber of Commerce, which in this area is quite significant.